Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct from Black Facts Studio headquarters here in Kent, Ohio, with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Excuse me. Ooh wee. My seed milk just got good to me. Nothing like some seed milk in the afternoon. Yes, because it's definitely afternoon by now. Matter of fact, it's 9 o'clock and we're about ready to rock. So let's go ahead and get on with the getting on. You know what we need you to do. First and foremost, go ahead and give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're on the YouTube where you should be at, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And then spread the word far and wide, to the left, the right, up and down, all over the land without a frown. Let everyone know what they should be doing at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, Memorial Day weekend. Yes, let them know where they should be at and exactly what they should be doing, which is watching Doc Ock at noon and 9 here on the Tubular Black Facts channel. So let's get this party started. We got our proverb of the day. Let's see which proverb we can pick out today. Let's see. We got a good one here. Oh, wow. Look at this. I don't know where this came from. This stuff just comes up. It just pops up like this. Okay. When one is in love, a cliff becomes a meadow. Now, isn't that just the most beautiful proverb you ever heard? When one is in love, a cliff becomes a meadow. And hopefully they don't mean a cow pasture, because that would be bad. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking they mean a meadow, like a real meadow. At any rate, and that is an Ethiopian proverb for you tonight. Ethiopian proverb for you right there. And now we're going to move on to our book of the moment, which is Betty Before X. As you can see right here, Betty Before X. If you haven't got a copy of this book, it's a good book to get. Now, one of our listeners has been paying attention, and they noticed that one of the stories that we had read previously about a woman by the name of Oni Judge, who escaped from the clutches of George and Martha Washington, that her book right now is on sale for $1.99 on Amazon as an ebook. So they're saying that's a good deal, and right now will be a good time to go ahead and pick that up. And thank you for letting us know about that. If anybody else has any tips they'd like to pass on to us, we'd really appreciate it. And we'll make sure to drop their name, just like we're going to drop the name of Reginald Beasley, because that's who dropped that name to us today. Well, I think yesterday. I think I got that message like yesterday evening after our show was over. But feel free to give out any tips like that to our members. They would absolutely love it, I'm quite sure. And so here we go. Chapter 3 in the book, Betty Before X. Chapter 3. Now, you know, in chapter 2, in case you don't recall, the girls had played a little trick on the pastor and on their mama at the AME church in Detroit. They had left the building between one session and another. They were supposed to just transition from one room to the next room in the church, and instead they left the building, went across down the road somewhere to the candy store, and came back before anybody was the wiser. That's right, before anybody was the wiser. So you might want to think about this, because they did this way back in the day, and just keep an eye on your children. Keep an eye out for the children. So after church, Suzetta says, Phyllis is coming over to my house. We're going to listen to her Billy Eckstein. Oh, yeah, baby. Billy Eckstein Records. And bake some cookies. You want to come? I'll be right back, I tell him, and run to find Ollie Mae to ask permission. Because you know you need permission before you go over somebody's house. Everybody knows that, right? Ollie Mae says, do you think you deserve to go, Betty Dean? My heart tumbles to the pit of my stomach. Does she know I left the church to get candy? See, this is what's bad. When you do something bad, every time something happens, you think, is this because I messed up? you know, you just can't help yourself. I stand there thinking about what I should say. I do not want to fib, especially in church. Especially because the last time I told a really tiny lie about eating all of my vegetables when really I gave them to Jimmy, Ollie Mae gave me a whipping. So I don't fib right here, right now in church, because I don't know what Ollie Mae or the Lord might do. And I don't want her or the Lord upset with me. I think about what Pastor James said about reaping what we sow. And so I pray one more time inside my head, asking God, please don't punish me for misbehaving. Ollie Mae sighs and says, well, answer me for God's sake. Do you think you deserve to go? See, this is one of these tough ones, boy. This is a tough one here. I don't say anything. I just keep praying. Ollie Mae steps to me and grabs my wrist real tight. She bends down low enough to whisper in my ear, I let you sit with those girls today, Betty Dean, and you disobeyed me. What? Say what? Mrs. Malloy sees us. She walks over slow and calm and stands close enough so Ollie Mae can see her, but not so close that she's in our space. Ollie Mae squeezes my wrist even tighter. Her whisper is not light or sweet, like the kind of whisper that tickles your ear. Hers is bitter and stinging. I brought you into this world, Betty Dean, and I can take you out. You know what Mama be talking about when she say that. You know what she mean. You hear me? Says Ollie Mae. Yes, Ollie Mae. Yes'm. Miss Malloy steps even closer. Everything okay? She asks. But something in her voice tells me she knows nothing is okay. Ollie Mae lets go of my wrist. Everything's fine, she says. I'm taking Phyllis to Suzetta's house. Is Betty coming? Mrs. Malloy asks. Suzetta lives next door to Mrs. Malloy, so she gets to ride to church every Sunday. Mrs. Malloy steps a little closer to Ollie Mae and says, Betty really ought to spend some time with girls her own age, don't you think? It doesn't sound like a question, though. I'll have her back right after supper. I know tonight is a school night. Miss Malloy hardly gives Ollie Mae a chance to answer. Ollie Mae looks at me, give me another warning with her eyes. You can go, but I'll be waiting up for you, she says. Suzetta, Phyllis, and I follow Mrs. Malloy to her car. We sit in the back seat and wait for the Malloys to get in. Mr. Malloy is talking with Deacon Boyd. Phyllis's dad, about everything and nothing, from the weather to sports to today's sermon. Mrs. Malloy is talking with Mrs. Boyd, and it seems like they might go on talking forever. Deacon Boyd looks at Mr. Malloy's car and says, I'm going to get me one of these automobiles now that General Motors is making Fords again. Yes, sir. It will be good to get the factories back to making cars instead of a car factory being used to aid the war. How many wars do we need anyway? Then Mrs. Malloy says to her husband, dear, we should get going. And the four of them say goodbye. On the way to Suzetta's house, all I can think about is the candy that's in my purse and the whipping I'll get when I go home. I think about all the other ways Ollie Mae could punish me. No playing outside, extra chores, or a discussion about what I did was wrong. Now, you know, out of all those different ways of being punished, anybody, every child would rather choose any one of those ways of being punished other than a discussion. Don't nobody want a discussion. You try to talking about what you did was wrong and why. I think about all the things she'll say as she's whipping me. Yeah, I told you, you shouldn't go down there. You know how those mamas be doing. How she'll make me feel guilty telling me after all I do for you. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And if you're going to live in my house, you're going to live by my rules. And then I think, what if I stop living there? What would that be like? Maybe I can stay with Suzetta. Maybe Phyllis. Maybe I can go back to Pinehurst. Maybe a friend of my Aunt Fannie Mae will remember me. Maybe a long-lost relative will be found and want to just take me in. Yeah, that would be the way to do it. Just find, all I got to do is just find a long-lost relative. Fat chance of that. Suzetta takes me away from my thoughts. Mrs. Malloy, Betty's going to join the youth choir. Did you know she can sing? Well, no, I didn't, Mrs. Malloy says. I bet there's all kinds of hidden talent in Betty that I don't know about. She smiles at me, and I try to smile back, but my stomach is in knots thinking about Ollie Mae. I start feeling better once we're at Suzetta's house. Her living room is huge, decorated with white and gold velvet drapes, blue and gold sofas, and thick royal blue rugs that are under our feet. Chandeliers glisten above us. Every time I come over to Suzetta's, I think about how much bigger her room is than mine and how it is all hers. She has a pink quilt covering her bed with pink pillows. Across from the bed is a big wooden dresser with a matching mirror. She has lots of framed photos and colorful keepsakes. There's a photograph of her as a baby in her mama's lap. She's caught in a laugh and seems so happy. I look away. Besides her bed and a chair at her desk, there's a small sofa big enough to fit 2 people on it. I sit on the sofa. Phyllis sits on the chair at the desk. There are suitcases leaning against the wall. Phyllis hands the record to Suzetta and asks, whose suitcases are those? Suzetta plays the record and Billy Eckstine croons his blues away. My Uncle Clyde and Aunt Nina are staying with us for a while. My cousins Kay, Bernice, and their baby brother Alan, too. They're all living here, I asked, but I thought they lived in Black Bottom. I remember meeting Uncle Clyde, Aunt Nina, and their children when they first moved to Detroit from Alabama. But I don't see them much. Uncle Clyde came to work at one of the Ford car factories on the assembly line where they made parts for the machines the Army used in the war. Suzetta tells us my mom said now that all the soldiers are coming back from the war, they will need their jobs back and the factories will start making cars again. So Uncle Clyde got let go. My mom said they'll be with us for just a little while until they get back on their feet. Where does everyone sleep? Phyllis asked. Kay, the one who's 16, she sleeps in here with me. Bernice is 7, and she sleeps in the basement with Uncle Clyde and Aunt Nina. The baby's only a few months old, so he sleeps with them too. Phyllis asked, they have the whole basement to themselves? Yep, Suzetta says, and sits on her neck, which isn't made up. I think about how Ollie Mae would never ever let me leave the house, let alone have company over if my bed wasn't made. Are they ever going to move back to Alabama, I ask? Phyllis looks at me like I should know better than to ask a question like that. There's nothing in the South to go back to, Betty, she says. I want to say there's plenty to go back to. That my Aunt Fannie Mae's grave is there, and the house she raised me in, and my friends who live down the road. My grandma Matilda is there on her pecan farm. But I don't say anything because I also know there are good reasons why people who look like us would never want to go back to Georgia. Never go back to Georgia. Bam, bam, bam. That's an old Dizzy Gillespie tune. And in case you didn't figure out what the name of that tune is, it's called I'll Never Go Back to Georgia. I'll never go back to Georgia. And I won't even say why, but if you live down there for a while, maybe you already know. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do our transition and our sign out and all that kind of good stuff and get ready for the night because we've already taken flight and we took you with us, and hopefully you're digging our show and thinking it's out of sight, and you're all ready to give us that like or thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and then become a sustaining member of the Black Facts family. But maybe you're already a member and you're just ready to take a little nap and go to sleep and get ready for the new day. If that's the case, then I need all you little children out there to lay your little head on your little pillow on your little bed and close those your eyes, waiting on that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, that's when you know it's time to rise and shine or chill in a mind. In the meantime, you adults, you know how to become a sustaining member of Black Facts. Just do it. We're going to apply the Nike motto. Just do it. Okay? You can do it on your phone, your computer, your laptop, or you can do it on your desktop, or you can do it on our website. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on Facebook. Okay? There are links in any one of those areas that to a space where you can make a donation. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Use your credit card and it won't be hard. Use your debit card, it'll be easy as pie. Any way you want to do it will be really fly and very much appreciated in the end, because we're still purchasing new materials in order to do our upcoming shows, to prepare for our upcoming shows. So for now, we're going to sign out. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9 signing off. You know where to find us in the new day, right here at 12 o'clock noon. Look for us right here doing our last presentation for the month of May, dedicated to Malcolm X and the celebration of his 96th Earth Day. Look for us tomorrow. Thank you very much. Peace with justice to everybody out there, because anything less than justice disgusts us.